Today is a day so many things come together. This place, these people, and this afternoon, this game. Today we celebrate an ideal and the ones who, for 250 years, have stood up for it. It's a day of community, of reflections, and most important of all, a day of gratitude. All at a unique place where following the flight of a ball can occasionally bring you right back to the flight of a grand idea, and why, through all its imperfection, it is so worthy to fight for, to celebrate. This is the Liberty Cup. Fall in right now. Golf Channel and the Veteran Golfers Association proudly present the Liberty Cup. We are just across the river from New York City, of course, not only the nation's first capital, but site of the new country's first Congress. Liberty National Golf Club. Over the years, with a rich history of championship events, PGA Tour, the LPGA, and the President's Cup, and today, a fitting site as some of the Armed Services' best players face off in the inaugural playing of a unique and very special event.
If you represent the United States Army, United States Marine Corps, United States Navy, United States Air Force, if you represent United States Coast Guard, sound off. Liberty Cup, attention, present arms.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hi again, everyone. Jimmy Roberts. Thanks so much for joining us today for what we know is going to be a very, very special event as we celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States of America. You know, it was 12 years ago that the Veterans Golfers Association was founded. Now it's some 44,000 strong, and today, in the shadow of what is arguably our nation's most iconic monument, of course, the Statue of Liberty, it is the inaugural Liberty Cup. It's a Ryder Cup team-style competition between members of 5 different branches: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Here's how it works. Teams from each branch will consist of 4 different players. Over the 2 days, each player will compete in match play singles against a team member from each of the other different branches, and each match is worth 1 point towards a team's total score. If a match is tied after 18 holes, each branch team will earn a half a point. After 2 days of competition, the branch team with the most points will lay claim to the inaugural Liberty Cup. And Brandel Chamblee joins us now. And Brandel, have you ever done a stand-up in a cooler place?
No is the answer to that. I don't know that we'll ever be able to recreate this. And I can't say that I've ever done an event that is perhaps more impactful than this one.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. We've been talking about this since we got here. If you ever want to feel like you haven't done anything in life, no matter what it is that you've done, all you need to do is come here and be around people like this.
Well, yesterday was so impressive. You know, just I spent a couple of hours out here talking to the various service members of the branches, listening to them talk about bomb disposal, rescue missions, everything you can imagine, risking life and limb. And I just thought, you know, all I've done is play a little golf and talk a little golf. I'm such a slacker. An impressive group of men and women that are playing in and affiliated with this organization.
Terrific golfers, but it's the organization that really forms the anchor of what this event is all about and the service it provides to these extraordinary people.
It is. You know, when you talk about the Veterans Golf Association, I would argue perhaps the most impactful thing that they're offering is not the golf, it's the sense of community that is lost when the uniform comes off. You know, for a lot of them will say it wasn't the hardest part of the military or the various services of the branches of the military. It wasn't their service. The hardest part was the loss of the unit, the loss of the structure, the loss of the sense of purpose when they took the uniform off. And that's what the Veteran Golf Association gives to them. And I think sort of along those lines, it's impressive when you think about it. 12 years, as you just talked about earlier, 40 some odd thousand members, and there's been remarkably few tragic incidences within their ranks. And you can talk about what that means and what that suggests, but it's pretty weighty what they do here.
All right, this organization is a remarkable story in itself, and some of these competitors, actually all of them are remarkable stories, but do not be fooled. These are some extraordinarily skilled golfers. One in particular I'm thinking of, Craig Thomas of the U.S. Marines, held a course record, 64 in the New York State Open at Bethpage Black. So they're pretty good sticks here too.
It took a guy who won 5 major championships to topple him off of that course record. He took Brooks Koepka, of course, shot 63 there, and Craig Thomas lost that course record. But along the way, he's played in PGA championships, he's played in the Senior Open, he's Monday qualified for a handful of tour events. As I was sitting here yesterday watching him hit the shots, I thought, well, that guy looks like a tour player, that looks like a tour player, that looks like a tour player. So we got some good golfers here. They've not only made a huge commitment to protecting the liberties that we all enjoy and risking life and limb, they've also learned to play a fair bit of golf and good golf along the way.
Brandel, thanks. We're going to get to see some of that good stuff when we return. First round action from the Liberty Cup is coming your way next. The Liberty Cup is brought to you by Liberty National Golf Club, more than just a golf course. The Bojangles Foundation, where great food meets greater good. It's boat time. The Liberty Cup is also sponsored in part by EEP Law and by the Veteran Golfers Association, dedicated to enriching the lives of veterans and their families through the game of golf. Welcome back to Liberty National Golf Club and our coverage of the inaugural Liberty Cup. Let's head out now and join the third member of our broadcast team, Damon Hack.
Jimmy, thank you so much. So many heroes here today, including a Brigadier General Dave Prizeman from the United States Air Force. It's wonderful to spend time with you. What's the value of this event? You've got the 5 branches of the United States military competing on this beautiful venue.
Indeed, Damon. So what an amazing place that we got invited to. I mean, you see the background, you see the shape the course is in, and these folks and you and the Golf Channel being here to cover the Veteran Golfers Association means the absolute world. So we're a joint force, right? Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and of course the best of the branches, the United States Air Force. We're all a joint force, and we fight and win our nation's battles together. But out here, there's a lot of good friendly competition and ribbing that's going on out there. But the neat part about all of it is, it's not just the golf, it's the camaraderie and commonality that each member has out here together. So it doesn't matter the age difference, it doesn't matter the branch difference. When we get out there on the golf course, it's the game and it's our common thread of serving our nation.
It's going to be a great couple of days. Thank you for your time, and more importantly, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Damon. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
The official motto of the United States Marine Corps is, of course, Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful, representing the Marines. James Lowe, who served from 2003 to 2008, including 2 deployments to Iraq. Master Sergeant John Oliver completed 3 combat deployments over a distinguished 20-year career. Devon von Lichtenstein served for 4 years, including a 14-month deployment to Iraq. And after 4 years of service, Craig Thomas has been the head golf professional at Metropolis Golf Club here in the New York area since 2007. Team Marine Corps is led by retired Lieutenant General John Jansen.
No man left behind for those of our compatriots who are still around, but bringing them back into a team and not leaving folks behind who do have that longing for camaraderie, and some who have need for, mental well-being, and bringing them back inside the fold. Go Marine Corps, beat 'em all.
Brandel, good match to start. Travis Bryant, a plus 1.4 against Craig Wood of Navy, who's a 1. And Bryant won the first 2 holes.
Good looking stroke here from Craig. A little speed on it, trying to cut into that deficit. Nicely done.
So the margin now 1. And
a little bump and run through the fringe. Sprinkler took a little heat off of it. But, now then Bryant with a lengthy par putt to tie the hole. Little Texas wedge. And he was running and gunning. Now they're all square.
so Bryant goes 1 up on 5. We're now on the 6th, the par 5.
Yeah, watch this pitch shot. Got it well off the front foot right there. Beautifully done. That is great technique, trying to land it just over that bunker and let gravity do the rest. You can hardly do it much better than that. Thumbs up all the way around.
So Wood now with the par to tie the hole.
About 4 feet here.
All right, so Bryant reestablishes the 2-up lead.
Craig really needs to make this putt to avoid going 4 down, possibly. Now Bryant, par putt, but he can 2-putt from here and go 4 up.
That's exactly what he does. So starting to pull away, they go to the backside, and after winning the 10th to go 5 up. Now on 11.
Yeah, good looking stroke across the green. Good read.
Said it before, these guys are real good players. Both good games. Bryant now 6 up.
Yeah, in complete command of this match, playing a good round of golf. Great match.
And this to win the match. Just comes up short, so Wood now to extend.
Yeah, he plays a lot of break here. Poor Reed. It just wasn't his day. Had to tip your cap.
Okay, so Bryant, the 7-5 winner, and after the match, Travis Bryant talked to Damon Hack.
With Travis Bryant putting a point on the board for Army, you won the first 2 holes, then you lost the next 2. What was the key to such a dominant finish?
I kind of just stuck to my process that I stuck with on those first 2 holes and just tried to play my game. Pars are good out here. They're very good. It's playing long, especially with the wind, so I kind of teetered back and forth between the match play mindset and just play stroke play a little bit because I'm so used to stroke play events.
This is a golf course that's hosted the best on the PGA Tour, the best on the LPGA Tour. What is the biggest challenge of trying to put up a score at Liberty National?
I found that Liberty National has found a way to make a golf course tight without using trees. The bunker placement off the tee is amazing. Like usually I play courses where it's like I'm not even looking at them. Out here I'm looking at them. They found a way to make it visually look open. So I think the biggest thing was tee shots, hitting the fairway, getting the ball in play. I think that's the biggest thing to low scores out here.
Well, you had all the right answers today. Congratulations, Travis.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I was never in a lot of trouble, but I was never really far from trouble growing up and as a teenager and as a young adult. The Marine Corps really was a stabilizing force in my life. I was at Osan Air Force Base. We were on a deployment in the Far East, and my good friend Ken Green had just won his first tour event, the Buick Classic, and I read that in the Air Force Times. I knew at that moment, when my enlistment ended, I wanted to do something with golf.
Thomas found his path to the game through the PGA of America. For the past 20 years, he's been the PGA head professional at Metropolis Country Club in White Plains, New York. He's part of a legacy that includes legends like Harry Lighthorse Cooper and major champions Paul Runyon and Jackie Burke Jr.
We're 104 years old. We've had 5 head pros, 3 in the Golf Hall of Fame, and Craig is the most recent in that long line, and really important to us and vital to the community that we have great playing pros, but at the same time, great people.
You know, I'm one of the worst playing golf pros that they've ever had, and I've done okay.
Okay would be an understatement. Thomas has played in multiple PGA Tour events, 4 PGA championships, and made the cut in both the U.S. Senior Open and the Senior PGA Championship.
Lots of wins. He dominated at the younger age, and he's dominated for a long time in the senior category too.
I think he is a big part of the draw to the club.
Playing in Veteran Golfers Association events like the Liberty Cup has truly become a full circle moment for Thomas.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. It is near and dear to my heart, and I wasn't planning on getting emotional either, but I think about, through the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps kind of steered me back to golf, and then golf has now brought me back to the Marine Corps, and it's really all because of golf.
Brandel, interesting match here. Two of the more, let's call them experienced players. Bradshaw, 44. Thomas is 62. But he has got some talent, and the match was even, all tied through 4. But then Bradshaw starts to put a little sliver in between he and Craig Thomas, who's such a great player. So Bradshaw 1 up. But this was soon to turn. This Craig Thomas has played, as we saw, in a number of PGA Tour events, major championships, head pro at Metropolis Country Club in White Plains, New York, which has an incredible legacy there. And Thomas has been a fixture here in the Mets section. Just a simple swing, Brandel.
I really like his move. It's sort of old school, got great rhythm. Look at that setup. It's beautiful.
There's a Statue of Liberty over the flag there. You don't see that too often.
That would be a little distracting.
Apparently not for him. I once played golf with him at Wingfoot. The first 9 holes, he was 4 under, and he missed a 3-footer to go 5 under.
He is one heck of a player, I believe it. Old school sort of putting stroke too, toe off of the ground like that. Right index finger extended down the shaft. Those guys always putt well. Great rhythm.
So Thomas of the Marines 4 up, and this for a birdie on the scenic par 3 to win the match.
Yeah, big sliding putt to the right. Now Bradshaw with his hands full needs to make this to extend the match.
This is just such a beautiful hole here. We'll see a bunch more of this today. Unable to get it done, so Craig Thomas, a winner 5 and 4 over Michael Bradshaw. Beautiful day here at Liberty National. Look at the scores. Army, Navy, and the Marines all with 1 point. And you see there that 10-8 margin. John Oliver of the Marines had to forfeit his match at the start of the day due to a family emergency. The Coast Guard and the Air Force still looking for their first point. Up next, we'll learn some more about the Veteran Golfers Association and more highlights from round 1 as the 2026 Liberty Cup continues.
The VGA was founded in 2014 by myself and a Ranger buddy of mine, Joe Cayley.
Josh and I had just played in a Wounded Warrior Ryder Cup match in England.
We went over to Royal Lytham St. Anne's to compete against the British, and that year we lost.
Shortly afterwards, he ends up calling me when I'm back home in Augusta, Georgia, and he said, "Joe, I got this idea," and he's talking about the concept of what the VGA would be.
So in 2014, we founded the Veteran Golfers Association.
From those simple beginnings, the Veteran Golfers Association has grown. With more than 44,000 members, a chapter in every state, and more than 2,000 tournaments staged each year, the VGA has become the largest national organization for veterans and their families in the United States.
I've always believed that veterans are the most underserved segment of our society.
For this organization to spend the time and resources that it does to give these vets and their families an opportunity to compete, generate camaraderie, and generate community all through the game of golf, that's a win-win-win, home run on all accounts.
Being that this is America's 250th year of existence and being able to host the Liberty Cup, just a stone's throw away from the Statue of Liberty, you know, it is amazing.
When we realize how the game of golf positively impacts veterans, is pretty overwhelming. In the last 10 years, we've only lost 2 VGA members to suicide, and we think that's too many. But on average, our veteran community is losing 22 veterans a day to suicide, and it's an epidemic, and we hope that the VGA is helping in a small way.
Hard to imagine it's not more than a small way. Remarkable organization, remarkable people. The U.S. Air Force was established in 1947, and its motto is Aim High. Team Air Force consists of Major Nathan Tingle, who boasts 20 years of service as a pararescue man and combat rescue officer. Staff Sergeant Andy Wood served from 1998 to 2005. Master Sergeant Doug Burhans boasts a distinguished 25-year career, including assignments in Turkey and Afghanistan. And Casey Lindo currently serves as a Force Development Analyst at the Pentagon. Team Air Force is led by Brigadier General David Priceman.
The golf was almost secondary to the handshakes and the laughter and the pats on the back as we went through. So that was the greatest part for me, is meeting people from all walks of life who can all sit down over a beer or a cigar and talk about things we have in common, like our deployment time and our common way that we come together to fight the nation's enemies. Go Air Force, beat everybody, let's go.
Air Force and the Coast Guard, Andy Wood and Todd Stevens.
And this might be the chip shot of the day, maybe the whole week. Under the tree, through the rough, through the fringe, down the hill, over the mounds, downslope, short-sided.
Anything else?
I'm going to say that's a 10 out of 10.
And he leaves it below the hole.
Crafty play there. Speaking of below the hole, now Andy Wood coming up the hill, over the ridge. And leaves it a little low. So he would lose. Stevens now 2 up. And Stevens with a cross-handed putting stroke here from about 15 feet. Greens are fast.
They really
down
are.
the hill, drips it in.
Graduate of the Coast Guard Academy, and Andy Wood now for par to win the hole.
It's kind of got a David Toms-like stroke. Real long follow-through. You don't see that much anymore. It's well done. Now Stevens here with a break and putt, right to left, hook and putt.
Flight safety officer is Stevens.
Now Wood with a par putt to tie the hole.
He was a crew chief on those big boy aircrafts, the Globemasters and the C-17s.
You know, getting to talk to these guys, hearing their stories, it just blow your mind with their dedication and sacrifice. And it's a great event, you know, gives them time to come together, have a few laughs, and compete a little bit. Good-natured competition, good-natured ribbing. Stevens gets the better part of that one.
Devin von Lichtenstein and Doug Burhans, Air Force and the Marines. Burhans is 1 up.
He's got that claw grip there, and this one's looking good, but just runs out of steam.
So Burhans with the early lead, and it was extended. Here we are on the 7th, Lichtenstein 4 down.
Yeah, I really had trouble on this hole. In control of the match, well in control of this match. Nice look at birdie. This comes up short, but stays 7 up.
So 12th hole, and this for par to extend the match. 7 down is Lichtenstein, unable to get it to go. So Doug Burhans, who is a junior ROTC instructor at Hickson High School in Tennessee, with the big win. 8 and 6, and everybody is now on the board. And after the match, Burhans talked to Damon Hack.
With Doug Burhans getting a point for the United States Air Force. This golf course is beautiful, but it's also very tricky. What are you most proud of and how you navigated your golf ball around Liberty National today?
A lot of it is just stay out of trouble. Just keep it in between, in the fairway and out of the big trouble. I mean, the wind makes it really, really hard, But if you keep the ball in the fairway, you got a clean lie, you can make a good swing on the golf ball, and just put yourself in good shape. So.
That's what you did, but the greens can be awfully tricky. They're slick and they're undulating. What was the key to making sure you were able to lag your putts successfully today?
Well, listen to the guy that's out there and tell us which side of the green to go to. That helps a lot, especially when you don't know a course. But I particularly like the hard, fast greens anyway, so just make a nice, easy stroke on it, read that line, trust your line, and hope for the best.
You did it well today. Great playing.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Damon, thanks. When we return, highlights from one of the best matches of day one, and we'll meet the visionary behind this one-of-a-kind golf course as the 2026 Liberty Cup continues. The Coast Guard motto is Semper Paratus, which means always ready. Representing the U.S. Coast Guard this week, Michael Bradshaw, who retired in 2020 after 20 years of service. Lieutenant Commander Todd Stevens, currently serving at the Aviation Training Center in Mobile, Alabama. Lieutenant Austin Faber, who currently serves as a commissioned officer. And Christopher Gatcomb, who boasts a distinguished record of service in various operational assignments. Team Coast Guard is led by Honorary Captain, retired Rear Admiral Steve Ratty.
When you're brought up in your own individual service, you don't get to see a lot of what the others do. A lot of people don't know what the Coast Guard does, and they don't understand, we're going anywhere on ships and doing, fisheries law enforcement, counter-narcotics enforcement, general law enforcement. We're doing search and rescue. It's a great opportunity to explain that to our fellow veterans. Go Coast Guard, Semper Paratus, beat everybody out here.
Chris Gatcomb, United States Coast Guard. I always had the urge to serve. My brother was a fireman, and he got that motivation for me to do something a little bit better with my life. I decided to join the Coast Guard. I was interested in search and rescue. I was fortunate to be involved in a few saves, and that's what you do the job for. Even if it's once a year you get a great save, it makes it all worth it. This sport, has been a part of my life now for over 30 years, and it's almost like a therapy to me out there. It's nice to put your phone away for 4 or 5 hours and kind of just unplug and be out there, and it's problem solving. You could play the same hole, but you're going to play it differently every single time you play it.
Next on the tee box, Chris Gatcomb.
It's such a privilege to be able to play a place like this. Thought I would only see it on TV and, President's Cups and LPGA events, things like that. So it's like an iconic venue, not just because of the caliber of the golf course, but where it's located and the events that happened here on 9/11. And I think for any American that, that hits close to home. So super stoked to be here, and it's going to be a good test of golf for sure.
And Brandel, this might have been one of the best matches of the day. Ryan Villarreal and Chris Gatcomb, these guys both plus handicaps. Chris Gatcomb from nearby Connecticut, the Coast Guard.
Yeah, you're right. This was a roller coaster ride right from the first hole. Got home with a beautiful birdie. Go one up.
He's a plus .4, and Villarreal was himself a college golfer. He's a plus 1.7 index. Matter of fact, the entire Army team, all plus handicaps.
They are a tough crew to beat, and the other 4 branches of the military are going to have their hands full with them. But early on, it was Gatcomb looking very sharp.
Going to need this par putt to tie the hole. So Ryan Villarreal goes 3 down to Chris Gatcomb, and it looked like this thing might have been heading in a direction where there'd be no coming back.
Yeah, nice chip here. So he is absolutely in control, but things begin to turn around here pretty quickly.
Makes the turn at 4 down.
It's about 30 feet right there to, all right, get one to the good. Little by little, try to work your way back into this match. This is a beautiful shot right here. Look at how he chases after it with his right shoulder. You want to play it out to the right. The wind's coming off the right. There's a slope to the right. Can't draw this one up any better.
Perfectly done for the man who was an Army medic, the son of an man from the Army as well, who fought in Vietnam.
Got going with the same hole with par putt, just misses. Now Villarreal trying to win back-to-back holes and go from 4 down to 2 down.
So, what was once thought to be a foregone conclusion, maybe not so much.
Not so much at all. And he just keeps winning hole after hole after hole. That is 3 in a row.
And at the signature 14th. So, Ryan Villarreal, who was 4 down at the turn, now 1 up after 14.
How about this shot? He is on a roll. Ball well below his feet. You got to maintain your balance. It's going to come out and usually go to the right. He plays this perfectly. Lands it on the front of the green. Continues on. Rolls up and over that slope. And actually gives him a great look at birdie.
So 2 putts to win the hole for Villarreal.
That is 6 straight holes in a row. After being 4 down, flips it, goes 2 up.
16 here now.
And again, another cool swing. Good look at this cool swing. Right down the line. Shoulder to shoulder, chases after it. Johnny Miller would say, I love the way he chases after it there back in the day, wouldn't he?
Yeah, good shot for Villarreal there, and he ends up winning the big comeback over Chris Gatcombe. So, we're midway through day 1. Everybody on the board, Army and the Coast Guard, with a little bit of an edge, but not much. This is just a golf club, like this is just a statue. Occasionally, what something represents is more than it appears to be. Founded in 2006 by Paul and Dan Fireman, the course sits in the shadow of perhaps the nation's most iconic monument on terrain reclaimed from what was once a desolate landscape. Architects Tom Kite and Bob Cupp built a unique layout that has been home to numerous elite professional events, including the 2017 President's Cup. In 2023, Rose Zhang made her dazzling professional debut here by winning the LPGA's Mizuho Americas Open, hosted by Michelle Wee West. But at the club's heart, the mission to serve, supporting programs for veterans and first responders, youth golf, and funding college scholarships. Liberty National, committed to excellence in golf and beyond.
It's sitting right in the heart of one of the great cities of the world, and the statue, and Ellis Island, and all those things. And the interesting thing is, when I got here, which was 30 years ago when we started the idea of building this golf course, this was all dumps and pretty awful. We wanted it to be something to be remembered by. And we believe it's done that well. You need things significant in life that'll make a difference, and that mixed with the golf makes the whole thing significant. The whole purpose of the tournament is to celebrate the veterans of the world. And in my opinion, that's celebrating the freedom of the world. So we're very lucky to 250th anniversary of the wonderful country, mixed with a great golf tournament that supports our veterans. Can't do any better.
On this day when we celebrate our nation's founding at this event in honor of those who fought so the rest of us didn't have to, a reflection now on history, service, and the things worth fighting for. "87 years ago, Nazi Germany swallowed Europe whole. First Poland, then Belgium and the Netherlands. France fell in a month. But on D-Day, hundreds of thousands of Allied troops brought ashore the promise of rescue. They were from Britain and Canada. Mostly, though, they were from the United States. All across northern France, the Nazis were dug in to repel the Allied invasion. Typical were places like Faribersville, a town of just 600, 3 kilometers from the German border. In late November, the United States Army's 80th Infantry arrived in the small French town. Company C of the 318th Regiment was just 40 men, including a 21-year-old private first class straight out of Brooklyn. Ralph Rosenwasser had originally been declared physically unfit to serve, but paid for his own double hernia surgery so he could go and fight. When Company C got to Faribarsviller, he was chosen to try and cross this field all by himself and surprise the occupying force at their stronghold, a farmhouse. As Rosenwasser ran through the farmland, gunfire erupted from the house. I noticed a German soldier in a basement window area lift his rifle, trying to get into position to shoot at me, he later wrote in his journal. Thank God I reached the wall next to the basement window, where I'd seen him. I pulled the pin of a grenade and tossed it through the open window. The explosion was tremendous.
He wounded many Germans, but...
they surrendered?
Yes. The other surrendered.
Was he a hero?
Yeah, a very great hero.
Company C moved on. Rosenwasser fought in the Battle of the Bulge. He was wounded twice. He was decorated, and eventually went home and got on with his life. He met a beautiful woman. He started a family. Before he did, though, he changed his name. He wanted his children to suffer none of the vile anti-Semitism he had witnessed firsthand. But what happened in the small French town lived with him in daydreams and nightmares, the kind that would wake him in terror when he was safely napping on the couch a lifetime later. He knew he had to go back to the place that in some ways he had never left. So 50 years later, he did. When Rosenwasser and Company C marched into town, it was front page news. A moving day for the now old soldiers and the strangers whose lives they had changed.
Monsieur Ralph Robert, si vous voulez venir, pour remettre la médaille d'or de la ville de Faribarsviller pour acte de bravoure face à l'ennemi.
Ralph Rosenwasser died in 2007. Outside of his family, his military service defined his life. I know that because that kid in the picture, his only son, that's me. These men of what were called the greatest generation, they came halfway across the world and they risked their lives for people they didn't even know because they truly believed there was such a thing as a greater good. This field, my dad was lucky. He came back from it. Not everyone was so fortunate. And so, there are places like Faribarsviller, where those young men and men like Ralph Rosenwasser will never be forgotten. Their footsteps and their deeds still mark this land. Hard to imagine that will ever change. Air Force and the Navy, Nathan Tingle and Josh Shearer, and this was an even match for most of the day, Brandel.
It was indeed. It wasn't until the 12th hole. Shearer begins pull away. Nice par there.
He goes one up, and we saw a little bit of this before.
Yeah, downhill lie. Beautiful pitch shot there.
But even better.
He retired this past March. Perhaps he's been working on his pitching and chipping. Looks like it.
So we're all tied at the par 3 14th.
Yeah, about 30-footer here off the hill. Really fast putt with a lot of break in it. A lot of good golf here. Sort of in the middle part of this round.
So Shearer, as they move to the par 4 15th hole, one up.
Yeah, they both sort of made a mess of this hole. This is for bogey to win the hole. Go 2 up. And really steep bank right there. That is a wonderful piece of touch. Get it up over that ridge, creep it down towards the hole. After going in the water here now, Tingle taking a drop.
This is a fun match play hole, an opportunity to go for the green, but obviously the water looming there.
That for bogey.
And Shearer, after a close match through most of it, comes away the 3-2 winner. Winner, by the way, is a term we should use advisedly this week because certainly every single one of these men would qualify. Each of them also with a story. Here's Damon.
Casey Lindo, United States Air Force.
Out of the 20 players teeing it up this week, Casey is one of only 3 currently serving on active duty. But his journey to the military started with a little tough love from mom and dad.
Back when I was in high school, the military wasn't even remotely on my radar. So my parents said, "We're gonna put you in junior RTC." I was looking at my parents like, why are y'all doing this to me? That's like prison. But they put me in there and literally haven't looked back.
That confidence carried him straight to North Carolina A&T, where he played on the golf team and onto the Air Force, eventually landing a prestigious assignment working just under the Secretary of the Air Force at the Pentagon. And while the building is massive, it does come with some unique workplace encounters.
I really enjoy the Pentagon. It's different when you're washing your hands and you look over and you just happen to see a 3-star. You're like, oh, how you doing, sir? Of course, they always laugh. But yes, it's been an amazing experience so far.
Being active duty means navigating many obstacles just to get on the green. Between a sudden deployment shakeup and chasing down 5 or 6 commander signatures to clear leave, Casey is just thrilled to be representing his branch on a golf course wrapped in so much history.
When you come here, you just see your skyline on your left and then the golf course on your right. In terms of 9/11, it's really moving. I like the fact that what I'm doing is directly affecting the people of America. Air Force, we need to pull it out. I need to hold that trophy. It's going to be fun.
Casey Lindo and Chance Carrick, a couple of really, really good players here. Hearing that all day.
Yeah, on the upslope here. Nice bunker shot. Just over that ridge. Creeps down. Looks like it might go in for a second.
Close enough. And then Chance Carrick.
About 8 feet par downhill. Easy to miss this on the low side, but nicely done.
Carrick, a 2014 graduate of West Point. Went on to teach at the University of Richmond in military science.
Breaking putt left to right here. Good lag. The par will be conceded.
So Lindo now. Par to tie the hole, unable to get it done. Carrick, so he is 1 up and come to the 8th.
Yeah. So the all-out flop here. That was excellent. I mean, almost no green to work with. Landed in a perfect spot and got it to stop about 10 feet.
And this to win the hole. So Carrick starting to perhaps pull away a little bit.
Yeah, still 2 up when he comes to the par 3 11th. And a bump and run through the fringe. I mean, he hammered that. Great judgment there. Get it to run into that bank and scrub some of the speed off of it.
Lindo, who's one of only 3 players in the field on active duty, works at the Pentagon, the Deputy Undersecretary.
Carrick with the par to win the hole and go 3 up. This is a great stretch for Carrick, not so much for Lindo. Carrick.
Now 4 up. This for birdie at 13.
Yeah, after winning the 12th hole, it's about 40-footer up the hill. And he did what you do not want to do, run it by where you got about 4 feet down the hill. So easy to miss this one low. Is he going to get it? Yeah.
Just creeps in the right side there, so breathes a sigh of relief. Do or die time for Casey Lindo on 14, 5 down. Good player walked on at North Carolina A&T. On this day, though, not his day. Chance Carrick, the big 6-4 win. So Army, with their formidable lineup, maybe starting to pull away. Just the 1-point margin over Navy. The Marines, the Coast Guard, and the Air Force, all with 1 point. Earlier in the week, the players, their families, and invited guests were treated to a very special evening. The West Point Brass Quintet, a tradition that started in 1870, treated the crowd to some beautiful music. And later that same evening, fireworks over the club.
In between his college years, my oldest son, Brandel Chamblee Jr., spent a couple of summers interning for congressmen in Washington, D.C. Over time, he found himself less impressed by political ambition than by a record of service. It was the men and women who had served their country and came home determined to be involved in public policy that left the strongest impression on him. Years ago, I attended a speech by Lou Holtz entitled, "Who is Going to Miss You When You're Gone?" Speaking to the military members in the audience, he argued that if there were no men and women willing to defend the values upon which this country was built, we would all miss far more than the individual, the very things we so often take for granted: our security, our liberty, and the opportunities afforded a free society. Today, my oldest son is an officer in the Army and currently stationed in Germany. He is one of a few million men and women who risk everything so that the ideas of our founding fathers 250 years ago continue to flourish and furnish all of us our freedoms.
Formed in 1775, the United States Army is the oldest branch of the armed forces. Team Army this week is composed of Sergeant Ryan Villarreal, served 2 tours as a combat medic in Iraq. Ray Martin served with distinction from 1999 to 2009. Chance Carrick is a 2014 graduate of the United States Military Academy at West Point, right up the river here. And Travis Bryant followed in his father's footsteps when he enlisted in 2017. Team Army is led by Honorary Captain Retired General Michael Garrett.
We're all soldiers, and we were talking about, we immediately went to Kuwait stories and Iraq stories and Afghanistan stories, and the experiences that you have shared are so powerful that they allow for you to connect again immediately. Go Army.
With Lady Liberty looking on, a good match. Army and the Marine Corps, James Lowe and Ray Martin right at the first hole. This Martin for par, and he's an interesting story. Found golf as a way to deal with his PTSD after 3 deployments in Iraq, and he's playing James Lowe.
So Martin with a nice start at the first hole. Off to a 1-up lead. Forward to the 11th. And now he is 1 down.
And this for bogey to tie the hole. So it's all even through 11 holes.
And you got to watch this shot. This is incredible. On the left side, but short-sided. Coming out of the bunker, over another bunker to a tight pin, and spot on.
Lowe is 42 years old. He didn't take up the game, Brandel, until he was 31. He's a 2.4 index.
I want to know where he learned. I want to go have a lesson.
That's like the Larry Nelson story, right? Comes back from Vietnam, learns to play, and goes out and wins 3 major championships.
And on his way to the Hall of Fame. And, wow, this is a 30-footer down the hill. Wasn't particularly good until then, but nice putt nonetheless. And that was for Martin to win the hole. The match is all tied again.
And this is why you come here to see this shot, the par 3, 14th hole. Not much of a hole in terms of yardage, Brandel, only 145 yards. But this whole location today, it's on the back right, and it's tough to get at.
It is, and it's exposed, and there was a fair bit of wind on this day, so you can see the reeds there rustling about. So now Martin, pressure's on. He's got about 15 feet with Lowe in there close, and now it's Martin putting the pressure on Lowe.
So we'll see if Lowe can answer. He needs a birdie. Just lips out. So a couple of good tee shots, one really good putt. But Ray Martin with the one-up lead as they play 15. This is the third.
Yeah, tight lie here. A little bump and run. Not too much on that, but about 8 feet. Kind of awkward here with the ball well above your feet, coming out of the rough.
He tried to go way up top. There was no way to stop that. And so Ray Martin with the 2-1 win as the gallery looks on. The Air Force, the Coast Guard, and the Marines all on the board. Navy in second place, but Army with that win, a sweep of the first day. And after the match, Ray Martin talked to Damon Hack.
Ray Martin with a point for Army by your own admission. You didn't start strong, but you sure did finish strong. What was the key to turning things around today?
Just staying in the moment, we had a good group, good time. Just enjoyed it, don't get mad about it. Just stay in it and just keep playing, and then I made some good shots there at the end, a couple birdies at the end, and really helped me out.
You've got those VGA letters on your hat. For so many who serve this country, the game of golf is a safe place, a safe haven. What is being able to play this game after seeing many difficult things in your life? What's it meant to you to be able to play this game?
It means a lot, actually. I was hurt pretty good, and so to get out here and be able to play with these guys, it means a lot. We swap stories, we talk about things you can't talk about with anybody else, and so we just have good camaraderie out here. We have a good time.
Can't thank you enough for your service. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Up next, day one competition concludes, and later, some of the biggest names in sports hit the links with our veterans. The 2026 Liberty Cup. We'll be right back. The United States Navy, America's protectors at sea. Representing the United States Navy team this week here at Liberty National, Josh Shearer proudly served for 22 years as an electronics technician. Jordan Jones served from 2012 to 2018 aboard 2 ballistic missile submarines. Phil Cruz, supporting the National Nuclear Security Agency's Ballistic Missile Weapons Division, and Craig Wood, who served for 5 years as an aviation structural mechanic aboard an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf. Team Navy is led by retired Vice Admiral David Buss.
And people serve for different reasons, but I think the unifying principle, more than anything else, is a degree of selflessness that people have in serving something. We use the expression tritely, but serving something bigger than yourself, that's exactly what the military is. It's exactly what veterans groups are all about. Go Navy, beat Army in particular, but more importantly, go Navy, beat everyone.
I was a military brat growing up. My dad was in the Army, so we bounced around quite a bit when I was younger. I landed here in Valley Springs right before I started high school.
Here was La Contenta Golf Club, a small public course in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains, just an hour outside of Sacramento. Wood went on to have a successful high school golf career, but by 17, life decisions had to be made.
I decided I wanted to get out and see the world a little bit, so I remember talking to several recruiters, and one of the questions I was asking all of them was as far as duty stations or rotations, and the Navy kind of sold me. It's like, hey, listen, you give us 4 or 5 years and we're going to show you quite a few countries. That was the motivation there.
Wood's 5 years of active service included a deployment aboard an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf, where he served as an aviation technician. Upon leaving the Navy, he settled in Valley Springs, became a police officer, got married, and raised his stepdaughter, Sophie. Golf was not part of the picture.
I really didn't play a lot until my daughter started to get old enough to start playing, and then I got her into it. And it sort of became obvious that if she was going to get any better and if she was going to listen to me, I needed to get better.
Wood retired from the police department and got serious about golf again, so much so that he's now working towards becoming a PGA of America professional. And Sophie? She just wrapped her freshman year as a member of the women's golf team at Cal State Northridge.
When I played my first tournament, he told me straight to my face, you had no energy and you were not talking to your playing partner at all. And so right then and there, I knew okay, golf is just more than hitting a golf ball and trying to score low. You have to connect with other people and also work on yourself to keep your energy up. I think he's one of the best coaches I've ever had.
Golf is his obsession. And that fact that his best memories is from Navy time and bringing it all together, it's just like, it's your moment. I'm so happy for you.
Navy and the Coast Guard share the seas. Today, Phil Cruz of the Navy squares off against Austin Faber of the Coast Guard. First hole was tied, so here we are at the second, the par 3.
Yeah, Cruz is in there about 5 feet for par, so Faber puts the pressure on him with that 15-footer. See if Cruz can match. Cross-handed putting stroke. Good looking stroke. Nice release. Well done.
Good result.
Cruz wins the third to go one up, so Faber with a birdie here at the par 4, or excuse me, the par 3 fourth.
Faber, one of those 3 that's on active duty in the Coast Guard in Virginia. Been in for 13 years. He's a technology expert.
So Cruz with a par putt here, misses, and tied again this match is.
So that's through 4. We move ahead to 8 now. Cruz 1 down.
And gets that par putt down to tie the hole.
Good camaraderie here. We see that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, they share their commitment to service, but they also share a love of golf and come together and needle each other, have some fun.
Do you know that the United States government, the military, more than 200 golf courses around the world? They operate the largest operator of golf courses.
Yes, I know that there are quite a few great players in the armed branches, and we got to see some of that. His Faber goes 3 up there. Now at the 17th.
And this is must time for Phil Cruz for bogey from above the hole. Surprisingly leaves it short, so 2 putts to win the match for Austin Faber. And he gets it done there, so Austin Faber with the win for the Coast Guard. They get a 2nd point on the board. The Army in front by 2 over Navy and the Coast Guard. Well, the oldest branch of the American military is the United States Army, actually founded before the country even was. Their motto, "This we'll defend." And Brandel, today they certainly did.
Well, it was not this year's Army-Navy game, was it? Navy got the better of the Army, but the Army had the better day today. They went undefeated. 4 very impressive players, obviously being led by Travis Bryant. Ray Martin had a very good match and an emotional interview afterwards with Damon Hack, Ryan Villarreal, and then Chance Garrick. They all won handily. You know what is interesting, though? After they won, they didn't walk in. They continue to play in because they're enjoying the golf, they're enjoying the scenery, they're enjoying the event, and what else?
Well, I will say this. Once, a long time ago, and I actually remember this, that's the way the Ryder Cup was, right?
We got enough gray to be able to say that with some distinction, but they're enjoying the camaraderie of this event.
Yeah, one other thing we should touch on. Day 1, you can probably tell, there's a lot of wind. This is a very, very hard golf course, and you saw it today. These guys can really play.
They can, and even though Army had a phenomenal day, it's not in the books yet. They got to go out tomorrow. They got to win 2 matches and tie another match to close this out. And Travis Bryant, I think it's safe to say, is the best player here. I mean, he's probably like a +5 handicap, borderline good enough to go out and play on the Corn Ferry Tour. He's playing later, so it's going to be unsure until later in the day tomorrow.
And we mentioned the Ryder Cup. We've seen it so many times before. No lead is safe, and the lead at this point, as we go into day 2, is actually only 2 points. Much more to come. Day 2 competition. That's coming up right after this.
Other than my family, and I'm very proud to say this, I love our country, I love our veterans more than anything else.
And the real heroes are the guys, the men and women that are part of this, that have fought for our freedom, and everything we get to do is because of them.
We all have that in common, love for country and love for the game of golf. The freedoms that we have are not free. I think their lives show that, and I respect that tremendously.
We got to support the men and women that serve. You know, they put their lives on the line for us to be safe, and I think our country owes them everything.
Earlier in the week, the Liberty Cup staged a celebrity par 3 shootout at the beautiful 14th hole. The lowest handicap player from each branch of the service was paired with the team captain and a celebrity player. Here's Damon Hack with more.
Welcome to the 2026 VGA Liberty Cup Celebrity Shootout. I want to give a big round of applause for Gary Sheffield, Ron Harper, John Smoltz, Josh Donaldson, and Coach Urban Meyer for joining us today.
Army's Travis Bryant was first up on the tee. He handled the crowd and the pressure easily, putting his approach within 15 feet. Playing for Team Army, 8-time All-Star and former Cy Young Award winner John Smoltz was even better, putting his tee shot inside Bryant. The Marines, led by Craig Thomas and 5-time NBA champion Ron Harper, were next on the tee.
What's it mean to be out here supporting the veterans?
Oh my God, it's a great honor for us all to be here. I have 3 of my older brothers, one following the Army, one following the Air Force, one is in the Navy, so it's an honor to represent them.
Navy veteran and aspiring PGA of America professional Craig Wood hit a very nice approach. It came to rest just 8 feet from the pin. Representing the Air Force was Brigadier General David Priesman. He's clearly keeping his game in shape. The Navy celebrity was 9-time All-Star and World Series champion Gary Sheffield. His approach flew past the pin and came to rest 15 feet away. How would you compare hitting a golf ball to a baseball?
You know, we're not used to anything sitting still. We're used to the ball coming in on you, going away from you with velocity. But this game here, you got to stay under control and breathe and not even think about anything but just the perfect swing. And I think I did that.
The final team to tee it up was the Coast Guard and their celebrity, former American League MVP Josh Donaldson. Pulled his tee shot a bit to the right. On the green, 22 feet away. With bringer of rain, your thoughts on your tee shot here during the celebrity shootout?
It was average, I would say, but it still has a chance.
After the Marines couldn't make their birdie putt, the Coast Guard's Christopher Gatcomb made his birdie putt from 22 feet. Army's Travis Bryant calmly buried his putt from 18 feet, and we were insured of a playoff. Representing the Air Force, Gary Sheffield came through in the clutch. So at least 3 teams would head to a playoff. Navy's Craig Wood couldn't make it forward as his birdie try just lipped out. So Army, Air Force, and the Coast Guard went to a chip-off from the greenside rough. Army's Travis Bryant was up first. He managed to get his chip inside 5 feet. No one would get closer, and Team Army captured the Liberty Cup Celebrity Shootout. Right now we're joined by Paul Fireman, founder of Liberty National, who I understand has a very special presentation to make.
I'm so proud for us, Liberty National, to host it and feel good, because you people are the real winners and heroes. We do business, you do life. And I'm glad you're here and thrilled. And with that, I'd like from the members of Liberty National and my family, give you a check for $200,000. I only can say don't bring it into the bank that way. But it's my pleasure, Josh. Thank you.
All right, so good fun for a good cause. And how about Army's Travis Bryant? 7-5 winner in his first match, starring role in the shootout. Bryant right at home on the golf course, which is absolutely no surprise.
My entire life's been golf. I feel like swinging a club is more natural than walking. I play golf every single day. It's all I think about, and while I was in the Army, I was thinking about it. I got Fort Bragg in 2018. New Year's Eve 2019 going into 2020, we got activated for attacks at a U.S. embassy in Baghdad. And then the evacuation of Afghanistan International Airport in 2021. We had the focus that it was more of a humanitarian mission than it was a combat mission, but it was Kabul, Afghanistan at the end of a war. Like, that's never going to go smoothly.
After the fall of Kabul, Hamid Karzai International Airport was the only way out of Afghanistan, but it came at a terrible cost. On August 21st, an ISIS suicide bomber set off an explosion that killed more than 180 people, including 13 U.S. service members. Bryant and his unit were only 200 yards away.
The entire time we were there, you hear an explosion every 10 seconds. But where it came from, the amount of smoke, the amount of screaming, and then the amount of soldiers and Marines that we saw running that direction kind of told us that something pretty serious had happened. We left at midnight on the 31st. I was on the last plane to leave. I love our country. I'm glad to be able to say that I've served. It's a really good feeling to be a part of that team and to be able to say for the rest of my life that I'm a veteran and I did something. Like, I deployed, I did my job, I made a difference.
After his service, Bryant returned home. His new mission, to someday make the PGA Tour.
I always wanted to play golf at the highest level possible. I met my wife at a golf course. We live in Pinehurst. I have a whole room in my house dedicated to golf.
Here's a kid who hasn't played a lot of AJGA golf, hasn't had the luxury of 4 years of college, but has this amazing talent that needed to be harnessed.
It's really good, his mindset that he's always trying to get better. That's what I see that I'm really proud of him for, that he's really going for it and working at it and really actually trying hard.
This wouldn't be possible without my wife, honestly. She's a scratch golfer as well, so like she understands so much of it already, which is extremely helpful.
It's together, yeah, it has to be, because if it were anything different or being apart, that just, it's not gonna work.
She's my rock, for sure.
When we return, we'll sit down with one of the visionaries behind this one-of-a-kind golf course. And the competition heats up. Day 2 action from the Liberty Cup is next.
Being a good citizen means being a good neighbor. That's a concept Liberty National Golf Club takes very seriously in a number of ways. In 2027, the club will host the BMW Championship. All of the proceeds will go to the Evans Scholars Foundation, an organization that since 1930 has sent more than 12,000 deserving caddies to college with full scholarships. The club also aids a variety of other youth programs like the First Tee, which provides mentorship and guidance for underserved communities through the game of golf. Since its founding, the military and first responders have always been priorities for Liberty National as well, through the Veteran Golfers Association and Tunnel to Towers. Those who are devoted to golf know it has the potential to be so much more than just a sport. And it's why philanthropy has always and always will be a core value of Liberty National Golf Club.
Well, when we got involved with Liberty National, just with the dirt and thinking about building this golf course, I think we all had a higher purpose in mind. We knew that this was going to be a transformational project. It was something that if we did it the right way, could make a huge impact, in the world of golf. And I think like anything in life, you can envision something, but how you get there takes a long time, patience, and a lot of steps and a lot of maneuvering. And I feel like where we are today with the Liberty National Foundation, what we're doing with our membership around philanthropy and charity, and also what we're doing with the Liberty Cup and the Veterans Golfers Association are just some examples of how we're focused on building something that's much greater than what we are here as just a golf course.
You know, all the lives that have been impacted, junior golf, caddies, first responders, and veterans. The foundation has really made it its mission to kind of reach out and touch people through the game of golf.
Precisely. We're all about, seeding the future of golf and doing it in many ways through youth golf with the AJGA, the Western Golf Association, the Evans Scholarship Program, with the First Tee, but also with veterans. And, I learned a lot about the military and what an incredible organization the military is and the history, and also the sense of community and camaraderie that military have, how they really can relate with themselves and the experiences they've had. And golf does that as well. It brings people together, it creates a sense of camaraderie, and you get these experiences that really bring you together for a lifetime. So, everything that we're doing with philanthropy and charity and with our membership and our family is really about bringing people together through Liberty National.
So the Army starts day 2 with its 2-point lead over the Navy and the Coast Guard. Changing weather conditions. Day 1, blustery but clear. The rain came on day 2. And the Marine Corps' John Oliver back in action after that personal emergency on day 1, playing Phil Cruz of the Navy. And they're tied here, obviously, on the first hole.
And John Oliver struggling here. Looks like he's going to make bogey. Good up and down here from Phil Cruz. Nice pitch shot there, so he'd go to 1 up. And Cruz 3 up after the 5th, so we'll move to the 6th. Now John Oliver with about a 30-footer here, trying to cut into that deficit. And does so. First win for him. Now just 2 down. A little bit of hope. And all out here with the wood at the par 4. Just gives it a rip there.
Who'd you say that
Jimmy,
looks like?
You reminded me of Ron Streck on that golf swing. You want to go way back?
I thought he was walking it through like Gary Player. Good result nonetheless.
Either Ron or Gary would have taken that shot.
Cruz now to win the hole at 7. See if he can pay it off.
Oliver with a little work left for par. Hang in there.
Yeah, just sneaks in the right side. So John Oliver 2 down through 7.
And how about this? He obviously didn't like his drop on the slopes and the rough, so chips it off the cart path. Nothing to it. Call that a TV shot.
I was going to say.
Looks tough, but it's really not.
It ended up okay. So Cruz with the 4-up lead, playing 11. Extends it there. So Phil Cruz in control as they come to the signature hole.
And what a place to close out a match. No more scenic hole in the world than that one. Certainly not in America than that one.
Phil Cruz, the 6 and 4 winner over John Oliver. And after the match, Cruz spoke with Damon.
Navy needed points. That's exactly what Phil Cruz provided. How would you characterize the quality of your golf today, in particular that great birdie at 14?
Yeah, I played well today. I putted better today. It was amazing. Hit the ball off the tee, which you need to with the long par 4s here. I putted well, and I got up early, and then I just kept him pressing and kind of helped me out. Just, make pars. He's got to make birdies to beat you. So that kind of worked out well for me, and I got up early, and I stayed there.
Yeah, take us through that big moment on 14 where you were able to celebrate a wonderful birdie.
Yeah, it was a little, wind was a little down, so it was playing about 138 yards. So I just, choked down 9-iron to make sure I hit the middle of the green. It came off perfect, and then from there was just left with about a 10-foot putt, a little bit up the hill, so it worked out great. And the caddy gave me a wonderful read. The caddies were absolutely amazing here. I couldn't have done it without them because I don't really know the greens here. So yeah, he gave me a perfect read, and I just hit the right speed, and it went right in the middle, and I gave a big.
Rain continues to fall, but it shouldn't bother a couple of guys from the Navy and the Coast Guard. Josh Shearer and Austin Favor pick it up on the 3rd hole with the match-tied second shot for Shearer.
Blind shot. Probably running to the top of the hill to get a look at this one, hanging in the air.
That's good.
Nicely done.
Really good.
This was a fun match to watch. These guys were kind of all over the place, but they hit great shots time and time again. That one just coming up short.
Looks like it might have hit a spike mark or something there. So Shearer now 1 up through just 3.
Long birdie putt here.
2 to win the hole on the 5th. So Shearer takes the 2-up lead through 5 holes. And again, a little bit out of position on 12, same margin.
A little bit. way over there, out of the rough, over the tree, and
on the green.
Okay, now you would think that would have been the best shot hit on this hole. Maybe not. Coming out of the thickest rough in the heaviest of rain. How about this? This is beautifully judged, and dare I say, a terrible break. How does that not go? Now, trying to put the pressure back on Shearer.
You said it before. Great golf in this match. Shearer 2 up through 12. In not the easiest of conditions.
A little bumping around here in front of the green. You think, okay, get it in there 3 or 4 feet. No, had better plans than that. A walk-off chip in.
So Josh Shearer wins the match 4 and 3. And just like that, the Army had been out in front, undefeated on day 1, but Navy now all tied up with Army. When we return, the action continues from day 2. Can the Army keep up the pace with the Navy? The answer as the 2026 Liberty Cup continues. Gray skies over Lower Manhattan in the Liberty National Clubhouse. The Army and the Air Force, Ray Martin and Andy Wood, all tied obviously on the first hole. This Wood for birdie to win the hole.
A little bit of sunlight peeking through the gloomy clouds, but nothing gloomy about that. A soft little air punch. Off to a nice start, Andy is.
Wood, a loser on day 1 to Todd Stevens of the Coast Guard. Go ahead to the 3rd now.
Yeah, there's Ray Martin up the hill. Big break and putt. How about that? Trying to even the match. He does indeed.
So Martin, a winner on day 1 over James Lowe of the Marine Corps. We move ahead to the 7th hole with Martin up 1.
Cool shot here. I mean, you can tell he likes it. How about sticking the finish?
Just waiting for a club twirl.
And sticking the shot. Dead downwind. It was really blustery out there. Tough golf course, too.
And not set up in the easiest of fashions either.
Not at all. So Martin goes 2 up with that par at the 7th.
Move ahead now to the 8th.
About 25 feet here for par. And gracious, he's on a run, 3 up now, and he would win the 9th to go 4 up. So by the time we get to the 12th, that's where we're at. Would need to make this putt.
And he does. So Martin 4 up through 12. But the margin was 2 on 16.
That's it. Martin with a long birdie putt here. About 4 or 5 feet, so he's still got some work left. Okay, with Wood cutting into that lead of his, needed to make it, so clutch putt there.
So the margin now 1 as they move to the 17th hole.
And just off the green here. A lot of green to work with, but almost holds it.
This is where you really learn about a golfer in these shots, Brandel.
You do indeed.
Another good one.
Pulls the pin out and almost chipped it in.
That's it. Ray Martin now 2-0. A point for the Army, and after the match, Ray Martin spoke with Damon Hack.
Ray Martin with another important point for Army. Different challenge today with the weather change. What was the game plan when you teed off this morning?
Keep it in the fairway. If you have to hit it low, keep out of the wind. You know, just try to find the fairway in the green. Try to make some putts. That was it.
What are you most proud of what you've accomplished over these last 2 days, providing points for Army on each of the 2 rounds?
That's it, what you're proud of. You helped your team, you know, you did what you could do for them, you know, and I contributed, so hopefully we get the win. If they contribute, we should win.
This is the inaugural Liberty Cup. What memories and moments will you take with you from the moments that you've experienced this week?
Oh, all the camaraderie. You know, we come out here and we get a joke around with the guys we served with, tell stories. A couple of guys I served in Iraq with. I mean, and then hey, I remember you, you know. It's things like that. It's just really important to keep memories.
Great plan and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Damon.
Coming up, highlights from 2 key Day 2 matches as the 2026 Liberty Cup rolls on. All right, the Marine Corps against the Air Force. Nathan Tingle and Devin von Lichtenstein, both of them losers in their first match on day one. Tingle here out of position.
Yeah, he's one down after losing the second hole, so trying to come back. Beautiful shot there.
No longer out of position, actually under the hole. So von Lichtenstein, I should say.
Yeah, trying to make par save here, misreads it. So it looks like Tingle's going to win that one and tie up the match.
Move ahead to the 14th hole.
Yeah, neither of these players has been more than one up. And Tingle with the 20-foot birdie putt right there. And that moves him back to one up. At the 15th, about that chip in to tie the match. This is back and forth between these two. Really good-natured competition. Each of them cheering the other one on. That's a beautiful pitch shot. Great tempo.
Von Lichtenstein only playing in his first year in the Veteran Golfers Association circuit.
Trying to make a big break and putt down this hill and just couldn't get it to break enough.
Bogey to tie the hole, and with that, Devin von Lichtenstein with the one-up win for the Marine Corps over Nathan Tingle of the Air Force. Another match involving the Air Force. Doug Burhans and Jordan Jones. Jones playing in his first match after sitting out in day one.
And at the very first hole, a way to start with a birdie. And again, another great back and forth. Good sportsmanship in this match.
Move all the way ahead to 16. Burhans is 3 down.
Drivable par 4 here, and this one gets the right bounce. Trundles along up and over the ridges. Looks like it's going to make it to the green, but just comes short.
Yeah, look at the muscles on that 56-year-old.
Yeah, that's a flex.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit like the Valley of Sin at St. Andrews.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely. Neither of these guys had tied a hole since the third. Here we are, up and over the ridge, down through that valley. That is wonderful judgment of speed.
Really nicely done. You see all the contour there. This course designed by Tom Kite and Bob Cupp.
He was walking it in.
So Jordan Jones now 2 up through 16 holes.
So trying to cut into that deficit a little bit here, and he does so. He put her for par. It's to 1 down, so coming to the last. And Jones.
It's the 3rd shot.
Trying to end it in style, and he does.
So Jordan Jones, who is a deputy sheriff in Lee County, Mississippi, served in the submarine fleet for the United States Navy. The 2-up win. The Coast Guard and the Army, Chris Gatcombe and Chance Carrick. Carrick, winner on day one, along with all the rest of the Army teammates on the 15th hole, 2-up.
Yeah, that's right. Nice pitch shot right there. Just keep applying that pressure. No gimme there.
No. Carrick just down the Hudson River from where he went to school at the United States Military Academy at West Point. On the 16th now, 2-up.
Yeah, he's got a chance to end this match pretty early here if he can come up big, which he does.
Look at that. That is a really, really good-looking shot right there. No need to putt. Chris Gatcombe now on 16 for birdie to extend the match after that beautiful shot from Carrick. Unable to do so. So, Chance Carrick, the 3-2 winner over Chris Gatcombe. The Army, with that 1-point lead now over Navy, looks like a 2-horse race. Damon Hacknow with Chance Carrick.
Chance Carrick, another point for Army, but a different day in terms of the weather. What was the challenge like out there today?
That course played unbelievably hard today. I mean, between the wind, the rain, the distance on the course, it was a very challenging day, both physically and mentally, but we had a great match. It was up and down, back and forth the entire day, and I hit some really good shots coming down the stretch and was able to pull it out.
Yeah, the weather brought it, but Army brought it as well. What are you most proud of about how the guys have performed here this week?
You know, we always play individually, stroke play, and to come out here, this is honestly my first event as a team. To be able to like root on the rest of your teammates, and it doesn't matter what score it is, it just matters whether you beat your opponent, and to see our team pull through and come up and really perform at the highest level as a team this week was pretty awesome to watch and really fun to be a part of.
When we return, the 2026 Liberty Cup comes down to one pivotal match. And later, we'll crown a champion. We'll be right back. Army and Navy, the traditional rivals, Craig Wood and Ryan Villarreal. Villarreal one up through 3.
Good hole here, par 3. Water on the left, hole location over towards the water. It's a gutsy shot. He's going to go all the way back there. Had to take it out over the water, use that wind, cut it into that hole location.
That's a pretty saucy little shot right
It was
there.
indeed. So Wood now with the long par putt, he airs this one out, running well past the hole, so he would concede.
Villarreal now 2 up through 4 holes. Villarreal yesterday a winner, 3-2 over Gatcombe of the Coast Guard.
Now here at the 7th, 2 up, about 35 feet away, up and over the ridge. Good speed here. About 3-4 feet. Wood here about 10 feet.
Just misses. So Wood, who ran into the steamroller that is Travis Bryant yesterday, lost his match 7-5. Villarreal now 3 up through 7. So Villarreal here on 15, played his college golf at St. Mary's in San Antonio, approaching what has to be one of the biggest moments of his life in golf.
Yeah, you can sort of sense it there. Eager for that one to get a little closer to the hole. So this is it. If he can make this putt, Army will clinch. This is to win 4 and 3. Big moment, big putt.
Great stuff for Ryan Villarreal. How about that, huh?
That's clutch.
44,000 members of the Veteran Golfers Association. This man gets to sink the putt that wins the first Liberty Cup. Congratulations from Army General Mike Garrett. And after the match, Villarreal had a moment to talk with Damon Hack.
What's it mean to you to deliver the clinching point for Army?
It means a lot. You know, we've been talking to each other for a few months now, leading up to this, giving us some notes of encouragement, words of encouragement, and we were ready to come. We were ready to play.
What's it been like competing here with the 5 branches of the military representing the United States so well?
It's awesome. You know, we saw all these guys about a year ago at the qualifier, and you know, a lot of us kept in touch with each other. And you know, it's a competition, but we're also a brotherhood, and we want to see each other play well, do well, and we'll stay in touch forever now.
So Army now with 7 points clinches the Liberty Cup. Navy the runner-up with 5 points. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment, handing out the inaugural Liberty Cup. We'll be right back. The Liberty Cup is brought to you by Liberty National Golf Club, more than just a golf course. The Bojangles Foundation, where great food meets greater good. It's bow time. The Liberty Cup is also sponsored in part by EEP Law and by the Veteran Golfers Association, dedicated to enriching the lives of veterans and their families through the game of golf. Overall competition has been decided, but there's still golf to be played. Coast Guard and Marine Corps, Todd Stevens and James Lowe. Here's Lowe, third shot on the first.
Yeah, Todd Stevens just short of the green, so it looks certain to make par. So pressure on James Lowe. Nice pitch there. Stevens didn't hit a particularly good pitch, so he's got about 4 feet left. Hooking putt here to stay tied through the first hole.
I got news for you. This is what I came for. Adversaries, yet teammates. Talk about great sportsmanship.
And we saw a lot of that over the couple of days, and these two were tied coming to the 18th hole. That was for birdie, and he would miss so low with a birdie to win the match. So just as it began, tied.
Lowe and Stevens. And this may be one of the more interesting matches of the day. Travis Bryant and Craig Thomas, maybe two of the best golfers in the field. There is a 34-year difference between these two players.
And there's no difference as they stand on the 16th tee. They're all tied in drivable par 4, water to the right, dangerous tee shot, and Bryant finds the water, opens the door for Thomas. He's just left at the green, chipped it up, par putt now. Yeah, he goes one up with 2 to play.
So steady.
Yes, he is.
62 years old, Marine Corps veteran, one up, playing 17.
Ball well below his feet here, so a little bit awkward, but does a nice job. Travis is struggling a little bit on this hole, so par putt to win the hole for Thomas. And to win the match.
So Craig Thomas at age 62, a 2-1 winner over Travis Bryant of the United States Army. Final match to cover, the Coast Guard and the Air Force, Bradshaw and Lindo. Pick it up on the 14th with Lindo up 1.
That's right, about 20 feet away here for par. And that would win the hole, so 2 up. He is in control. Just a handful of holes left. Bradshaw here, though, with a crafty little pitch, using the slopes beautifully. Over there, down the hill, around the corner, and then using the back slope.
That's so
Get
good.
It in there close.
You talk about imagination. Look at that.
Yeah, that is very well done.
So they're all tied with 2 to play. So third on 17 now for Lindo.
Control of this match for sure. A little hook pitch right here. Nicely done. Would go on to win the 17th hole.
And that is all she wrote. Casey Lindo, the 1-up win over Michael Bradshaw. So the final standings of the inaugural Liberty Cup. The Army takes the title with the Navy close behind. Down now to Joshua Payton, co-founder of the Veteran Golfers Association, to hand out the hardware, which is actually crystal.
Dan, on behalf of the VGA Board of Directors and our 44,000 members across the country, it's been an absolute honor to be a part of the first inaugural Liberty Cup here at Liberty National. It's an honor to present the Liberty Cup to you, to present to General Mike Garrett of the winning team, Team Army.
Well, Team Army, General Garrett, on behalf of Liberty National Golf Club, I'd like to congratulate you on winning the inaugural Liberty Cup.
Brandel, an extraordinary couple of days here at Liberty National. Mentioned it during the course of the telecast. Your son's serving in the United States Army. He's an officer. My dad served during World War II, so it's intensely personal for both of us, but it really should be intensely personal for all Americans.
Well, it's meant a lot to me to be here the last couple of days, and I agree with you. It should mean a lot to everybody who's been able to watch this event over the last couple of days. And when you think about how we ended up here, the genesis for the Veterans Golf Association, it was Joshua Payton and Joe Cayley, who a dozen or so years ago went over to compete in an event with the Wounded Warriors, the British Wounded Warriors, in a Ryder Cup style. The British Wounded Warriors got the better of them. Of course, both of them are Army Rangers. They came back here and they thought, you know what, we need to create something similar to that. And now the Veterans Golf Association, with over 2,000 events a year, culminates here with the best players of each of the branches of the armed services. So yeah, you come here to compete. It's good-natured competition. It's about good-natured competition, good-natured ribbing. And I know it's trite, but I think everybody left here a winner. They really did. I feel a lot better having been here, and it's a great pleasure to be here with you and Damon to be a part of this.
All right, it was really something, as I mentioned. 2 thoughts to close. Number 1, the fireman family, Dan and Paul, their commitment to the Veteran Golfers Association and so many other great causes is just extraordinary, so we want to thank them. And one last thought as we leave you on this birthday for the United States of America. There's a lot of people all over the globe who defend our freedom. It may sound trite, but it's certainly true. We owe them a debt of gratitude, and we hope they're safe this day and always. For Brandel Chamblee and Damon Hack, I'm Jimmy Roberts. Happy birthday, America.